Hello, everybody. Welcome back to an episode of Dead Rising character analysis. Back here, just kind of kicking off this, still kind of kicking off the new series. Well, I guess not new series, but technically new character analysis round. I'll be on this for a while, doing all three Dead Risings. So it's going to be a little while, covering all the characters. I want to make sure to go in depth, of course. Today we're going to be doing Otis. We'll get into that later. I do want to address a couple things. Before we kind of get rolling into this video, I do want to address a few things maybe that you guys might have been confused of for last week's videos and that whole debacle, amongst some other things. It's just would be easier for me to talk to in this most recent video. So, last week's Afroman video, hopefully you guys enjoyed it. It's back up. I had to take it down a couple times. It got taken down and then I had to take it down. Hopefully you enjoy the video. It's still just as good, I think, as it originally was. It's just, YouTube took it down. I got a warning on my channel. It's not a strike or anything. I just kind of can't get any more warnings until, it was July or something like that. I think it said I had to take a class. It happened to me before. I had some kind of thing. I showed a screenshot on my Twitter, so be sure to follow the Twitter if you haven't seen it already. I updated all that stuff on the Twitter, which is why it's also important. I get quick tweets out, announcements and whatnot. It's very easier for me to tweet it out and whatnot. So be sure to follow the Twitter for this exact reason. If there's anything going on with the channel or anything I'm trying to put out emergency-wise, if there's anything going on, I'll definitely announce it there amongst the Discord. I didn't really put it on the community tab because it's more formally. But yeah, with that whole debacle, it got taken down. I got a warning on my channel, but everything's fine in the end. It was really over something through my not really, I didn't really do anything wrong, I don't think, but it's really not worth it to go after the appeal. But long story short, the video's up. It got taken down. That's why I had some trouble putting out content on Friday. But we're back, and the video's up, so I highly recommend it. It's a classic. Go check it out, but we're so back in terms of that. So that's good to hear. But got taken down a few times, just YouTube stuff, so I wanted to address that as well. As well as I have some new equipment coming in microphone wise, so the next video probably going to come in probably next week's videos. I'll be having a different mic. Might sound better. I think it does. I did some research on it. I got a new mic coming in, so hopefully it sounds better equipment wise. I think you guys will enjoy it. Probably sounds better than this mic I'm using now. Not that it's bad or anything, but I just want to kind of experiment with different microphones and whatnot. So just throwing that out there. And then another thing specifically related to Dead Rising, the character analysis itself. Yes, I'm going to kind of be mixing it up a little bit. I'm not going to be using straight Dead Rising 1 gameplay all the time. Some of it's my gameplay that you may or may not have already seen for the Dead Rising Let's Play. I mean, it's my gameplay. It's still my gameplay in the end. I never want to steal anybody else's gameplay. Not that I ever would. People do that, and I'm not going to be one of those people. I'm going to try to always try to be original and use my own gameplay, my own content, and try to do it, the correct way, which I agree with. I would love to do, not only is it the right thing to do, but I also, it's something to be proud of. So, if it's some of the gameplay you may see is familiar, I would, some of this specifically for Dead Rising 1, I'll use my Dead Rising 1 gameplay, and then some, as you can see, or some off-the-record gameplay. It's all relative to Dead Rising, so that's really what matters in the end. But it might not be strictly Dead Rising 1, particularly for the character analysis. So just a few of those things to address there. Hopefully, maybe I could clear some stuff up for those of you who are confused. Content didn't come out Sunday. I apologize for that. I'm kind of having a rough time getting content out Sundays just because I'm very busy with work, specifically on that day. I'll try to do better this week. I know I've said it before, but I'll try to come back. I'll try my best here. It's a little bit tricky. But I'm just putting it out there, and amongst that whole other thing with the Afroman thing, I also didn't get content out this past Sunday. Just another thing to address. There's a lot of things I wanted to address quickly before I started this video. But we are back. No, not really too much trouble with YouTube. They're all good. I don't have a strike or anything, which is the more important part. But yeah, so moving on with all that, hopefully, like I said, I could clear some stuff up, and yeah, we're going to get right into it. So Otis Washington, of course, the classic Dead Rising 1 character. Now, he doesn't have the most in-depth character, specifically on the Dead Rising wiki. He doesn't have the most in-depth article. He's not a very in-depth character. He only appears a couple times in Dead Rising 1 and amongst some other things I'll be reading. But it's not going to be the longest character analysis. Not going to be as long as maybe some of the other ones will be. But Otis is a classic. He's a fan favorite. I love him, so I figured I definitely had to do Otis. He's a classic character. Everybody loves Otis, and I couldn't do Dead Rising without, doing an analysis on Otis. So I figured I had to get Otis. Like I said, not going to be the longest one, but doesn't really matter too much because Otis is a classic. So just going to get right into it. Of course, like I said, getting all this from the Dead Rising wiki. Just like, a lot of other wikis for the sites, but the official fandom Dead Rising wiki is good. So yeah, we're going to get right into it. So Otis is an older guy. Of course, he's older, born in 1939, which, older guy, like I said. So he says here, so just going to get right into it. Otis Washington is an elderly mall janitor, dedicated member of the Willamette Patrol, and longtime worker at Willamette Parkview Mall in Dead Rising. He was one of the only survivors to make it to the refuge of the security room. He was at the front entrance after Frank West is the last survivor to make it inside to prevent the zombies from breaching the door. While he is not crucial to the case files, he tells Frank about things happening in the mall through a transceiver and gives him the important information about survivors and also relates to Frank when he should come back to the security room. More or less following the same formula in Dead Rising 2 where Stacy will tell Chuck, we'll get into all of that, but more or less following the formula with Stacy where, she's in the security room and whatnot. Of course, we'll be getting into all that when we do Dead Rising 2. Yeah, kind of like the same formula. He never leaves the security room and is highly trusted by Frank, Brad Garrison, and Jessica McCartney, which are the feds. And 72-hour mode, which I didn't do. Actually, did I? I don't think I did that in our Dead Rising playthrough, which is cool because I could directly relate to it, which is also nice. Frank is able to make it to this. I don't think I did it, though. At least in the Let's Play. Anyway. If Frank is able to make it to the second floor of the entrance plaza, he will show up in the security room where Otis, Brad, and Jesse are present. If Frank is unable to make it to the security room and is overrun by zombies, then it is Otis who saves him. Regardless of the situation, Otis is ordered by Brad to weld the security door room shut after Frank shows up in the security room. Yes, it did do 72-hour mode. Okay, that's just because that's how the game is set up. Okay, I lied. After Brad decides to go back in the mall through the air ducts, Frank follows him through the mustard disdain of Otis, but he concedes the fact that he cannot stop him and bestows upon Frank a spare transceiver and an intricately detailed map of the entire mall from Leisure Park to the maintenance tunnels. Throughout the 3 days Frank spends at the mall, Otis sporadically sends Frank information and location of survivors and scoops via transceiver. After the 3 days are over, Frank West discovers the true origins of Willamette incident. Special forces arrive, aiming to wipe out all life from the mall, zombie and human alike. While Frank is away from the security room, he finds a note on the desk near the security room monitors from Otis. Quote from Otis, specifically, Frank, while you were out, some crazy people snuck in the rooftop and started snatching people. I heard a hell of a rocket coming from where the monitors are, so I'm taking advantage of the confusion and stealing a helicopter. I might not look the type, but I've got a small aircraft pilot license. I haven't seen Jessie. There's no time to look for her now. I've got to get out of here while the getting's good. I hope you think I'm a coward, or I hope you don't think I'm a coward. If we meet on the other side, I definitely owe you a drink. Good luck, Frank. And that was, of course, a note from Otis. I remember seeing that in the Let's Play. But on the note, it states that he's discovered a way out of the mall, of course, using one of the military helicopters the Special Forces left behind. And, of course, Frank saved all the survivors Frank was able to save. Infinity mode is like the special mode. Otis is one of the first enemies encountered, and he is found on the rooftop. He's armed with a frying pan and his equipment. He carries raw meat, push broom, a bowling ball, a mailbox, and a paint can. That's so Otis. I feel like that's what Otis would be carrying. It's so Otis coded. And then moving on to Dead Rising 3, he obviously didn't make it. Well, actually, no, technically I will get into something. He kind of appeared in Dead Rising 2. In a way, there's the special outfit I think you could get through like a DLC or like some kind of code. I'm not entirely sure how to get it, but there is a way in Dead Rising 2. I think it's in Off the Record specifically where you could get Otis's outfit, as you could see here in the gameplay. It's his blue, Willamette outfit and whatnot. You could get Otis's full outfit in Dead Rising 2, so it kind of makes a little bit of a special cameo appearance. In a way, it's a special outfit you could get, so I figured I'd plug that a little bit. But yeah, that's in there, so that's cool. I noticed that I have that. Then in Dead Rising 3, at the funeral chapel in Los Perdidos, a funeral service was being held for Otis. Of course, he is dead. He is deceased, unfortunately. He was an older guy, so, Nick Ramos can enter the chapel to find a coffin with a photo of Otis next to it. Because of this, it is assumed that Otis had died, likely of old age, and lived in or near Los Perdidos. So, of course, he, died of old age. And, of course, naturally, which is good, It's good they didn't get killed by zombies, which so many other characters have within the Dead Rising series. So it's good that he likely just died of old age. I like to think that he did. I mean, after all, by the time Dead Rising 3 rolled around, he was 82. 67 in Dead Rising 1 and 82 in Dead Rising 3. So, I mean, he was pretty old, so Aged mall employee, very good. Love Otis. And that's pretty much more or less the end of the wiki, the article. Like I said, not too much in depth for Otis. He's a good guy. He's a very classic character, fan favorite overall, I think, but not too much else going on with Otis himself. You know, he's a very shallow character. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but as you can see here, it also shows here Otis's outfit in Dead Rising 2 unlocked after saving 50 survivors, so that's more on that. I think it's in also Dead Rising Off the Record, and Dead Rising 2 is just like a special thing. Then got some extra pictures here into the wiki. Yeah, that'll more or less wrap it up. I love Otis. He's a fan favorite. He's a classic. I like him. And I always liked him. He's always a classic within Dead Rising. So I figured definitely had to do him here on the wiki, cover him. So yeah, that'll pretty much wrap it up. So leave a comment down below what you think of Otis. I know I'm sure a lot of people would like him as well as I do, within the Dead Rising community. Like I said, fan favorite. I'm sure this will be classic there. But yeah, that'll more or less wrap it up. Of course, like I said, leave a comment down below what you think of Otis, feedback, all that general stuff. Always welcome in the comments below. We're back. Like I said, as I addressed in the beginning of the video, got some, little things I wanted to address. So hopefully, like I said, it could clear up all that confusion, amongst other things. But yeah, of course, be sure to subscribe for more content, like video, all stuff, Discord, Twitch, Instagram, Twitter, links in the description. I'm really working on Instagram and Twitter, posting a lot of stuff on there, posting tweets and all about all kinds of different stuff. Highly recommend you go follow that. So if there's an announcement or stuff like I was saying, Twitter will be one of the first things, first socials I'll be to post, just because it's easier to just tweet stuff out really quick. So if if you want to stay updated on the channel, or if there's anything, going on, if you want to find that out, news and whatnot, Twitter will be definitely the place to go. Amongst the Discord, and I'll post on the community tab for more formal announcements. But if there's like a quicker announcement I want to make, I'll do Discord and Twitter. So it's, like I said, more important if you want to follow that, if you want to stay updated. Like I said, very recommended. I'm very excited about this Dead Rising character analysis. There's so much stuff we're going to get into. It's going to be a fun series. I love it. One of my favorite series of all time in gaming, amongst a lot of others. But yeah, very excited to get into Dead Rising, especially since we just wrapped up the Let's Play, so it plays hand in hand with that. Very excited to get into it. Got plenty more characters to cover. And, stay tuned for all that. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. I got a lot of cool plans coming up, so stay tuned for all that. But yeah, for now, though, that'll pretty much do it. Got a lot of cool stuff coming. Got a lot of cool ideas coming here to the channel. But yeah, for now, though, I will see you guys in the next video.